Hey, Moondog here. If you're mounting a new scope to your rifle, it's really important that you get the reticle level. Level to the top of your rail, level within your rings or your mount, so that when you're shooting, your scope isn't canted or tilted in any way. And a good way to do that is to use a bubble level or spirit level. That's one of these tools that you can get at a hardware store. Of course, these are a little too big to use. I mean, you can kind of use them on your scope, but a bit awkwardly large. So I found one of these smaller scope-specific bubble levels on Amazon. This one is from a brand called PrideFend, and I want to thank them for sending one of these kits out for me to test out. Now, these are really inexpensive, and you often get what you pay for. So I wanted to test these out and see if they're actually accurate, if they're actually any good, or if it's, not such a great deal. So let's find out. Okay, so this is the PrideFend bubble level scope mounting kit. Comes in a nice case, metal, I'm assuming aluminum case here. And inside we have our two bubble levels. It also has an included Allen wrench. It's pretty small, maybe it's like a 1.5 millimeter, I don't know. It's pretty small, and it's meant to adjust these two screws here, which, I'm not sure what you need that for other than to make corrections if your bubble level is not actually level, which we'll find out in a minute. I'll bring this out to compare it against my hardware level. But it comes with two. They both have magnetic mounts here to mount it onto your scope base, and you can see it is quite loose here. So I'm sure this is meant to adjust it and tighten it here. So you can mount this either to your firearm, to your scope rail, and this as well. So you can have 2 points of reference. You can mount this one on your rail and mount this one on top of your scope to make sure that everything is all level to each other and eventually to your horizon line. So let's take it. Let's see how level they actually are. Well, as you can see here, these are not level, at least not to the bases that they are mounted in. My hardware spirit level here, all 3 of the bubble levels are flat, even. As you can see here, the PrideFends are off kilter. So that's disappointing. I'm going to try to see if I can adjust this to fix at least this one. I don't know if there's any sort of adjustment screw on this one that can be corrected, but let's find out. Okay, so I could adjust this so I can get that fixed so it's level now, but this one, really, this one doesn't fit inside of there. I'm just trying to see. Oh, it could be because the magnetic part of this base is not entirely flat. This does look a little bit raised. So let me use this box here, and it's assuming that this is level. Yeah, this appears level. If you mount this on here, does it become level? Yeah, it does. So I was wrong about that. This actually was level, at least if we're using this as our reference. And with a little bit of an adjustment, I was able to get this to be level. So yeah, not bad. Still don't know what that's for, but anyway, if you happen to know, I wish this thing came with instructions. If you happen to know what that little screw hole is there for, please let me know in the comments. And we're gonna test this out on our scope at the range. And we're at the Sheriff's Department's rifle range, and we're going to check and level the reticle on my CZ457 competition rifle. And while I have your attention, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It just takes a second, it's absolutely free, and it really helps boost the profile of this channel on YouTube. And if you have an interest in gadgets, electronics, and other geeky stuff, check out my other channel, Moondog R&D. We have one of our bubble levels here, and traditionally people would put them on top of their turrets, but of course many turrets nowadays are aluminum, and anyway, turrets are a bad way to level a scope. We have our other bubble level with a magnet offset, and of course that wasn't made for placing on top of a turret. They're made for placing on a rail or a flat part of your rifle. Of course, it helps if you have, you need to find a place that is steel so that it could stick on. And depending on what your rifle is, you'll have to find that spot. The Picatinny rail I have on my CZ457 is milled aluminum, so the magnet won't stick to that, but fortunately it will stick onto the 11mm dovetail rail on the top of my receiver. Using this tool, we can see that the rifle is slightly canted, so we need to adjust it, or in this case, adjust the bipod legs in the front to level out the top of the rifle. Make fine adjustments, stick it on a sandbag, stack Legos, whatever you need to do to make sure that bubble is centered so you know the top of your rifle is level. And that means that the scope mounted on top of the rifle isn't canted to the left or to the right of its center line, and we can use the horizon or a plumb line to accurately level the reticle. And I'm going to mount a phone camera to the scope so we can see how that's done through the scope itself. And while I do that, I would just like to note to the uninformed viewers out there, some of whom work at YouTube, because somebody at YouTube erroneously classified this as gun modification. The parts in the process you're seeing are not modifications. This is essentially gun maintenance. You need to have properly aligned sights to use your firearms safely and properly. And I can't believe that I have to explain what should be obvious, but this is just the sad state of gun safety education in this country now. All the more reason to support scouting or junior ROTC programs in your school, or to watch Rumble instead of YouTube. And yes, I am on Rumble, so check out and subscribe to my Rumble channel and you can see the videos that got rejected by YouTube. Okay, we're looking through the scope now, and downrange at 100 yards, I've placed a orange plumb line. And since we know that our rifle is level using our bubble level, all we need to do is align the reticle to the plumb line or a flat horizon or even just a level wall. And if it isn't, or if you have to just make a slight adjustment, all you have to do is loosen up your scope rings and gently rotate your scope tube until the reticle is lined up. So there you go, the PrideFan bubble level kit. It wasn't complete junk, it actually worked. If you're interested in picking it up, I've got links and more information on my blog, moondogindustries.com. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching. Moondog, out. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please share it on forums, Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, MeWe, whatever social media you're on. And if you want to see all of my videos, check out moondogindustries.com.